This is SWC Spread 'em with Caution, a sports gambling podcast featuring Brandon Aptaker and Jordan Heinzman. Please don't forget to subscribe and follow.
Yo, welcome back to Spread 'em with Caution. I'm Brandon Aptaker, and filling in for Jordan Heinzman this week is my buddy Alex. What up, bro?
How's it going?
We're not really going to disclose why Jordan isn't here today. It has to do with his face, and that's all I'm going to say. He's ugly. He's ugly. We found a more handsome version. And we're taking that. Gotta pump the ego real quick.
Sure. And I got better picks.
He thinks he's got better picks. We actually, so for week 15, we all three of us, myself, Jordan, and Alex, are all gonna post our picks. So it's a little competition. All right, real quick, I'm gonna go over last week's pick between Jordan and I. Alex, you could talk about how you felt about some of Jordan's picks. We're only going to go over the ones that either he or I took. So he took Minnesota -3 for the Thursday night game last week. They kind of pummeled Pittsburgh until the end. Pittsburgh made a nice little second half push.
Yeah. I mean, the Vikings are known for blowing these leads, kind of like the Falcons. So it's a game I definitely would have taken. I didn't do much last week, but it is a pick I would have taken, although their performance did lead me to not touch them this week.
Fair. Okay, the next one that Jordan took this one. He took New Orleans -5 favorite at the Jets on Sunday. And he also hit that bet. I was skeptical because of New Orleans quarterback situation. Yeah. And Taysom Hill, great athlete. I just don't feel like he's a leader. I don't feel like, throwing is the most important thing, and I don't think he's great at that.
Yeah, I feel he gets a bit nervous too with some things. Like I know, like in those roles of quarterback, when like it's not going too well passing, they try and force the run and they try and get a little like too creative at times. And I just don't think that typically works out too well. But they had Kamara back, so that does help helpful for their performance last week. I'm still a bit skeptical on the Saints right now.
Fair. The next one the next game I took was the Dallas Cowboys at the Washington football team. I'm so proud of myself. I have not called them the R word once since we started this podcast. That's amazing, dude. I think like the LGBTQ community and all that shit's going to start sending me stuff.
Yeah, plus too. For all the future ones.
Dallas Cowboys at the Washington football team. Dallas was the 4-point favorite. I took them, and Jordan's mentally challenged self took Washington +4. What would you have done?
I actually, like I said, I didn't do much last week. I took 2 games and Dallas was one of them. And I'm glad I did. I took them early in the week too, which is unusual for me. I usually wait till like right before kickoff. I mean, it didn't really matter. They still covered at 6.5, I think was like right before kickoff. But I got them at 4. So
you bought points?
No, I had them at -4. Like I took them
okay.
like you did as well.
Right.
So I'm just really hyped on Dallas right now. I think they're performing well. I don't think the Washington football team, I almost slipped up there with the I don't think they're a bad team. I just think Dallas right now, I think they're just running a great program. I'm kind of high on them for the Super Bowl. as well.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm not even a Dallas fan.
Does CJ know you're doing drugs in his room? Oh, that's a little bit strong. You're coming on strong. Let me tell you my rationale on picking Dallas in that game.
Okay.
They always win the NFC South. They always do.
Yeah.
Even if they're 500 team. So if it's this late in the season and it's a divisional game, I'm taking the Cowboys.
Okay. I see your strategy. I can get behind that.
McCarthy is their only piece of cancer on that team. Talent-wise, they have no deficiencies. Defensive backs scare me. They get interceptions, but they don't guard people.
Yeah.
They're one of the worst pass allowing.
Yeah, their defense, like some games, it's just like how this guy gets so wide open on you.
Yeah. What game was that? The Minnesota game where they won in overtime. The play with 30 seconds left when I don't know who it was, but Cousins just threw a bomb right over that Diggs dude's head.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one we both took Atlanta, the underdog 2.5 at Carolina. I don't know what drugs there is going around Vegas right now, but this was an easy one. We both took it. Carolina's terrible. Cam Newton had one game and we got all hyped. And they're back to being Carolina. Christian McCaffrey out. I don't know. Again, I cannot justify this spread because no McCaffrey.
Yeah, I agree. I was one of the games I touched, but I did like Atlanta in this one. Again, Matt Ryan, I know, like they've blown it since that Super Bowl loss a few years back, but still, you're playing Carolina. Like said, I think I was just pretty heavy on Atlanta as well this week. Not a big fan of them, but of those two teams, at least like you have Matt Ryan, the leader, veteran quarterback, leading you on the field in this situation. So
that's fair.
I was on it then, especially getting the points.
Okay, next, Jordan took Seattle, 7.5 point favorite at Houston. I didn't touch it. Maybe I should have, but I don't need to explain why that pick was. It's just that Houston's that bad, and Seahawks are bad for the Seahawks, but they're not terrible.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't touch that game was because I know the Rams blew them out, although they did let up like those garbage points late in the game. I think they let up like 16 or so, and that messed up the spread, or they got more points. I think it was like a 16.5 point spread whenever the Rams played them, and they ended up blowing the spread, letting up those garbage points. So just because of that, I steered clear of this game. But I did not see Seattle blowing them out. I did not expect that.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that bad, but I saw it around 9, and it was too close in my vision for this.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions at Denver. I took Denver 7.5 point favorite. Jordan took Detroit plus 7.5. I looked at him like that when he did it. I'm gonna screenshot that. And the dude's high on Detroit because it's in his team's division and they compete with them. Detroit is the worst team in football. They are worse than the Texans. They're worse than Jacksonville.
No.
At least those guys know who their guys are.
Okay.
They at least know who to look to sometimes. Jared Goff shouldn't even be in the league at this point. They got the best, probably top 3 best tight ends in the league, and they don't feed him the ball enough. When Swift went down, so did their hopes of even not getting the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's just a game again. I wouldn't have touched it because I don't think the Lions are terrible. I don't think they're as bad as you feel they are. But I don't know. Denver's another team where I don't think they're like awful. Don't think they're good at all, but
I don't think Denver's great, but at home with third best rushing offense.
Yeah,
They
it's
got
just
a
a game
nice.
where I wasn't confident in that in any regards.
That's fair. All right. The next one I took was the Giants at my beloved Chargers.
Mhm.
It might sound stupid, but I knew we were going to win this game as soon as Daniel Jones was ruled out.
Yeah,
That I knew we were going to win, and I felt that we were going to win by 2 touchdowns. I didn't think to absolutely take a fat dump in their mouth, but that was nice.
yeah.
That was fun. I gave those tickets to my cousin. I'm still trying to sell my Thursday night tickets for tomorrow. That's sad. I'm gonna end up giving them away probably. San Francisco was the favorite at Cincinnati. I'm riding with San Francisco, bro. I don't know what the talk about is that they're not that good. I don't see what their flaw is. This team has been injured so much that they're good when they're hurt.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah. And Kittle's just playing out of his mind right now, too.
You know, they get Mitchell back this week.
Yeah. Saw that. So
that's going to be gnarly. And it's not like Jeff Wilson's bad. Like he can hold the ship afloat. And then you got Debo, who wasn't even supposed to play, just getting rushing touchdowns. Like,
yeah.
That dude is a machine.
No, he's something else. That's like a different specimen who, I don't know. I didn't really even think of him much going into this season. Like, I didn't understand how versatile of a player he is. Just did not expect that.
Yeah, I mean, I followed him and I liked him, but I did not know that he could be a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah.
And it's just his size and speed combo is crazy because most of the time we see these lanky, tall, elusive, WR1s like the Megatrons and the Julios, right? And then this guy is just built. He's like Travis Henry, but a receiver.
Yeah.
It's gnarly. All right, next we had the next game we took was Chicago at Green Bay. It was a 12.5-point spread, but I wasn't scared of it. Yeah. I was not scared of that Sunday Night Madness. Jordan he took he took Chicago underdog 12.5, which I thought was a little weird. I mean, if you're going to take that kind of call, I would probably stay away. I don't know what he saw in Chicago against his own team, but he has this weird thing about divisional games. So, anyways, I was confident going in, especially after the I own you thing from the last time Rodgers played the Bears or whatever. He does own them. He actually owns quite a bit of stock in the Chicago Bears now. Yeah, he's on the board. He's on the
that was a game though too. I can understand Jordan's viewpoint. I like too with that divisional game. It's a rivalry game. I thought the Bears were going to play them tough. It looked like it for a bit, and then I didn't touch that game. Probably would have taken again. I think the Packers are another one of the Super Bowl contenders for this year. Although I did just think with like the whole I own you comment and the rivalry that Chicago was going to come out stronger, like with some fire. And they did the first half, just typical Chicago fashion, imploded and Green Bay covered.
You can spray a turd gold, but it's still going to be a turd, right?
Yep.
I don't know how that analogy fits at all, but I just wanted to say it.
I like
it. Los Angeles Rams it's a Monday night game. It was the Rams at the Arizonas at the Cardinals. Cardinals had only lost 2 or 3 games before this.
I think 2.
Yeah, they have another loss now. They were a 2.5 point favorite. I took them. Jordan stayed away. It's my only loss of the week. And actually, as far as books go, I didn't even take this bet. I sent you my screenshot. You saw I went 100% on Sunday.
Yeah, you did.
Actually, I think I did take this game. This was Monday. Actually, I think I did take that. But I hit two parlays, pretty much the stuff that I took on the podcast. So I went 5-1. Jordan went 4-3. That 5-1. No, it should be 6-1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 6-1. Let me fix that. 6-1. That is a from 2 months of doing this, that's a record.
Very nice.
Thank you. All right. And now let me pull up the next week's real quick. So we're just going to talk about yours and I's picks for coming up week 15 NFL. I really want to finish strong. That was the end of fantasy football regular season for anybody that plays. If you're not playing in some crackhead league, it should have been the end of your regular season and you should have made the playoffs. I made the playoffs in all my leagues. If you didn't, you're a loser. All right, here we go. Kansas City at the Chargers on, wow, did you change that? On Thursday night tomorrow. If you need tickets, let me know. All right, so the Chiefs at the Chargers. I'm excited for this. I got friends, I got Mexican friends coming over down here. I'm gonna teach them how this thing works. If I'm not too drunk already. I am staying away from it on the books.
Nope.
All right, tell me why you're taking the Chargers underdog +3.
So initially, I was Kansas. I did sway today. A friend did get to me. He got in my head a little bit. He pointed out some logic.
Charger fan friend?
Yeah, he's a Charger fan, not like a diehard. He just moved out here this past year, but man knows football. And because initially I was a Kansas City, I'm still like a Kansas City fan. My roommate in college was a Kansas City fan, but diehard Rams. Like I'm not gonna say, I'm solely Chiefs, like bandwagon. But like I like to see them. I like to see them win. And I just think they have so many weapons. Defense has been playing great lately. And I was all for Kansas. And my friend just pointed out some logic to me. He said it's a divisional game for first place at home for the Chargers. Chargers have been on a heater lately. Really like how Herbert's been playing. I have him in fantasy. I got Eckler too. So shout out for getting me into playoffs, boys. And although the Eckler injury, they say he's fine. I still don't know.
He's always fine. He's always fine.
A lot of tape on his ankle on Sunday. That was a little skeptical.
He didn't look slow. He didn't look slow.
No, he didn't go in after the injury, though.
Yeah, but we didn't. Why would he at that point?
Yeah, there was no reason. But so we'll see. But that doesn't even play too much of a role. I'd say Eckler, like obviously he's a playmaker. But that's not why I changed the pick. It's just home game, Chargers for first place. They'd have the tiebreaker. I just think they're going to play him tough. Possible shootout. I don't know what the over-under is on this game. I think it'll be very high scoring. Chargers defense still sketches me out a little. Although I just think like the way Herbert's playing the offense, I think it'll just be a high scoring game. Also, like Vegas always kind of knows. I feel like that's kind of a easy bet, the Kansas City one. So I'm like, they got to know something that we don't. So that's why I did switch my pick, because it did seem a little too easy for me. And I know you guys, you got to pick 7 games. So I was like, I need to get that Thursday night in. And I just think overall, Chargers are just playing really well lately. And Kansas City, I know they've been playing well. They started off a little sloppy. But I still think, I don't know if the Chargers will win, but I'll take it at +3. I'll take that as one of my
Fair,
picks.
fair. Little thing I want to point out, most people don't know, the last 3 out of 4 in that time, last 3 out of 4, the last time the Chiefs and the Chargers played, right, of the season. So the last 3 of 4 seasons, the second game, the Chargers have won. And during that time, the Chiefs have gone to 2 Super Bowls.
Interesting. Nice little
So,
fun fact.
yeah, another fun fact, Justin Herbert is now leading the league in players of the week.
How about that? I did not know that.
Okay. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is back. He's been back for
Yeah.
this is his 3rd week. The first one was kind of on a repetition count or whatever, snap count. And this week he looks good. I'm not gonna lie. And that's the one thing that's concerning for me is that we know the Chiefs can throw the ball. We know Patrick Mahomes' dad bod can get the ball in the air, but when you can also add that dump down or that run up the middle against the Chargers, that's when they failed this year. So that's why
I've noticed that they've let up a lot of yards on the ground.
29th worst.
Yeah. So that's something, but I know before the injury, Clyde was having a fumbling problem. I forget what game it was, but he had like a key loss.
Yeah, I remember that. I think like week 2. That thing was rough.
And I think if the Chargers can get the ball out of his hands early, that definitely affects the young running back mentally. So we'll see.
True. All right, we did not bet on the Las Vegas at Cleveland game for reasons that are obvious to even. It's Saturday. There's 2 games on Saturday. I'm going to say it. I hate Saturday NFL. I do. I like to have like more variety in my weekend, and I don't want to just sit on my ass the whole weekend. My personal opinion. I think it's stupid. Why do we have to do that? Like, what are we compensating for college football? Okay. New England Patriots at Indianapolis. I'm taking New England. You're not taking this one. New England underdog 2.5. I wish it was 3. I might buy a half a point.
Yeah.
But New England is they're not even outperforming people. They're out coaching people. They're winning. They're like second in the AFC and nobody even noticed.
Yeah.
They're good. And Indianapolis plateaued about week 8, week 9 when they won 5 in a row after their first or second loss. Remember that? And then they plateaued. Football is not a one-man sport, and all they have is Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
That's my rationale. 2.5 New England. I feel like it's pretty. I'm actually going to put good money on that one. Okay, Carolina at Buffalo. Buffalo 10.5 point favorite. Talk to me. Why are you doing that?
So Buffalo's had some tough losses, noticed, and I think they need to prove something. I usually don't touch games that are that high in points. Buffalo really hasn't shown me anything lately either to make me think they can cover, other than the fact that Panthers are bad. And I think the Bills really need to prove something right now. They need to boost their confidence for this playoff push. And I think they're just going to come out there, come hard, and they need like that big point, like when just boost your confidence, like feel like a defensive score. Like they just need to be firing on all cylinders, get everyone's emotions up.
All right.
So that's why I took that one.
Yeah. I like that. I like the theory, but honestly, for me, I'm staying away from this. They're due for a big game theory.
Yeah.
And it's just failed me too many times. And I'm not hating on you. That's just why I'm staying away. All right. The next 2 we are skipping, which is Arizona at Detroit, and then New York. Which New York is that? I don't know. At Miami, I think it's Jets. Yeah, it is. And the next game you are taking, sir. Dallas is a 10.5 point favorite at the New York Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Cowboys are better than the Chargers, and Chargers just trashed the Giants. Yeah, why are you looking all like You think the Chargers are better than the Cowboys?
I mean, their records are the same, right?
I don't know that.
And with a much tougher schedule. Do you realize that sorry, we'll get into this later. But
Okay.
All right, tell me why the Cowboys are going to beat the Giants by 10.5. I don't think you're crazy. I do think the Giants are terrible. I just don't think the Cowboys are one of the better teams, and I think you're falling into this Skip Bayless bullshit.
I mean, just Dallas overall. I think they've been performing fairly well all season. They're doing well. Pollard's looking good too. I like the split carries kind of between Zeke and him. I think they kind of like Zeke accepts his role with the less carries, and they're just kind of a good fit for each other. CeeDee Lamb's looking great. Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. I'm just pretty confident in them. Again, Giants, it's Saquon's their big guy who doesn't look that great lately. I know he's had a lot of injuries. It's just overall not too hyped on them. I don't know much, honestly, about the Giants defense. Maybe because they're not that good.
Nah, they're middle of the road. They're like 22nd, 23rd favorite.
Yeah,
right?
so nothing stands out to me there. And I know the Dallas secondary's a bit iffy, although I don't think they're going to get exposed much by the Giants offense.
No, they're not. Sterling, who is it? Sterling Shepard or something? I don't even know who it is anymore. Their receiver.
Yeah, they're losing people like every year. It's just one of those games where I'm like, I don't see any threat from the Giants, but it is a lot of points.
It is a lot, and the Cowboys are one of those teams that likes to point the gun at their own foot and pull the trigger.
Yeah.
So you got good points. I'll give you that. I would say it's over 50% that I would say that, but I like my bets to be a little more sure feeling. You're taking the next one. Washington football team at Philadelphia. Washington is the 5.5-point underdog, and you hit me up today and asked me if there was a trick. What's going on? Why
is 7 later? I saw
+7.
Yeah. So
did Heineke get ruled out? Because when I read it, when I talked to you, it looked like he was good now.
Yeah, it looked like he was healthy. I only had a little time today to check out the injury report. I didn't see him on it. It did look like a lot of the offense is out. Not like people really talk about.
Gibson's not
out? No, Gibson's healthy.
McLaurin.
He's clear to play.
Don't they have the tight end back, Logan Thomas?
No, I think he just tore his ACL.
Dude, that guy is fuck. He needs
2 weeks ago. Yeah,
he needs a handicap placard.
Yeah. I think it was not this past week. I think the week before, because he had just come back from an injury, and it was either his first or second game back. And then
I thought he played in the first quarter of this last game. I don't know. I thought
maybe it was this week he got hurt. I'm not too certain. But I thought I played a smart move in fantasy, picking him up. I'm like, this guy's a baller.
Yeah.
And I had him on like the IR spot like the last 2 weeks, and then this happens. So
I love that IR
guy
spot,
can play,
man.
but he's injury prone. So
yeah.
I don't know. The Eagles, like Washington's been playing really well. I don't know why they're getting so many points to the Eagles, who haven't really like stood out much lately. I think Jalen Hurts is a versatile player as well, a quarterback. I'm not sure if he's a great quarterback. I feel like he tries to do too much as well. Put the game in his hands.
Yeah, definitely.
But not too sure. I need to look into that one a bit more as to why I then jumped to like an extra 1.5 points in like the 2 hours from when I made the pick to when I checked later. But Washington's been playing well.
Coming off a loss.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad loss, was it?
I don't know if there's a good loss.
Like they played hard.
No, they were down by
Antonio
like 3
Gibson.
scores at one point, dude. Antonio Gibson had like fucking
fumbled.
38 rushing yards, though.
Yeah, he had like a critical fumble that just killed all the momentum in the game. But overall, I think Washington as a whole is playing fairly well. I'm not sure if McKissick is back. I know he was out, but I like the split between him and Gibson as well. But yeah, I need to look into that one a bit more. It is a bit skeptical as to why I jumped another 1.5 points in like the hour and a half I made.
Yeah, there might be something behind it. Anyways, the reason I'm staying away regardless, even if it is at 7, is simply because I don't like to bet when it's 2 bad teams, and I do consider both those teams bad.
Okay. I think Washington's like a slightly above middle tier.
Don't let that division fool you. That's the worst division in pro sports. All right. Tennessee Titans at Pittsburgh. Tennessee is a 2-point favorite. So it's Tennessee -2. I'm taking that. I don't know. It didn't take much thought to me. I think that spread should have been higher.
Me too. I mean, me and you are both on that.
Yeah, we both took the same thing. Tennessee needs to win this game.
Yeah.
The end of the tunnel is here because we realized how much they need Derrick Henry, and he's going to be back in week 18, right? So
yeah, you should be.
Yeah, they said I read that today. He's definitely coming back week 18. And I think that's stupid. It depends what their playoff positioning is, right?
Yeah.
So if it's just a gimme game, they're not even going to play. Other starters aren't going to play. Of course, he's not going to get any reps. But if it's anywhere that can change their playoff seeding, then of course he's going to play. Pittsburgh, Tennessee's defense is good.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger is just not going to – he's never going to go back to close to, old school form.
Yeah. And I mean, last week he had a good fourth quarter, but overall doesn't mean enough. It's a fourth quarter sport.
Absolutely.
And again, Tennessee has a pretty good defense. I agree. It was I didn't really have to think too much on that one. I'm confident in the Titans. They've been looking good. Julio's back.
Yeah, and he was actually utilized a lot more last week than he has been, which is good, but it's because they're forced to throw the ball a little more. Even though they're those 3 running backs that they kind of have carrying the weight of Henry they're not terrible.
Yeah.
But it does make you appreciate big man Henry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where he should not get 12 yards and it should be a loss of 1. We're really seeing that now.
Yeah. I don't think
that first smack doesn't get him ever.
Yeah. For running backs, usually I don't think I played running back in high school.
What kind of all-white Jewish academy did you go to where you made that position?
Agora. So basically, yeah. But not to diss the position, but I don't think running backs are as important for the most part, except when you have someone like Derrick Henry, someone like that who just defies the laws of physics, who's getting those hits, and it's one guy's not going to take him down almost every time.
Yeah,
a single tackle isn't going to stop him. And when you have someone like that, special, and that does make a difference. But for the most part, when some teams are the starting running backs out, the Rams with Henderson, it's
well, he's not a stud.
Yeah, it's like Sonny
It's-
Michel do that, or
It's also contingent on the team. Like, look at the Patriots. How many Super Bowls and how many different
Yeah.
running backs? Like, did it ever matter? Look at the Bucks last year. Like Ronald Jones, right? Like Fournette was not even the guy.
Leonard Fournette, they like had some runs, but overall, it's like for the most part, I don't think a running back is that essential to a team's success, except when you have someone like Derrick Henry, who
or Dalvin Cook or something Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
That's very critical to their success.
Yeah.
All right. Let's carry on here. All right. So you're taking I don't even know if these words can come out of my mouth. You're taking Houston on the road at Jacksonville as the underdog.
Yeah, it's my least confident one, but how you said the Lions are the worst team, I think Jaguars are the worst team in football. One of the worst teams I've seen in years. Urban Meyer, great college coach, looks clueless in the NFL. Doesn't even look like he wants to be there. I think the players hate him. Like, I hear something every week, like, oh, like trouble in the locker room.
Fucking bitches. He's out there porking hoes at dive bars.
Yeah. And just for that, like all that, like Houston, like they can get some points up on the board, and Jaguars, I don't think can. If you're giving me the points, it may come down to a field goal game. I don't think by any means that the Jaguars would blow out the Texans. So I think it'd be relatively close. And at +3, I'm like, I'll take it.
I see it. I see what you're saying, but again, I'm going to go back to my other rationale. Two terrible teams, two of the three worst teams in the NFL, because I'm counting the Lions as the very worst. The other two, the next two are these guys, and they're playing each other. What are they? Is there going to be any fans there? It's going to feel like a COVID game for sure. Nobody won.
It's gross. I felt disgusting picking it. Like,
are you going to even watch it?
Oh no.
Oh no. You and everybody else.
But it's like I may sprinkle like the minimum bet on this game. Just because football's coming to an end. And for the sake of this podcast, like I'm gonna put my money
where your mouth is.
So
yeah.
I'll touch all these games, but this one, like if people are listening, I'm not that confident in it. Like if you're contemplating betting it, don't do it. If you do a minimum. Like these are horrible teams.
All right, the next one I took, you did not. Cincinnati Bengals at the Denver Broncos in Mile High. Cincinnati's a 1.5 favorite. I'm taking them. I think Cincinnati's a better team. I think Denver's inconsistent. Cincinnati's defense is good enough to slow down that run game a little bit. And though I think Joe Burrow has not capped out, but slowed down the last 3-4 weeks, I do think he'll deliver against a sketchy Denver secondary, and a 1.5 is it's even. You can't even take a money line on that small of a spread, and if you do, you're dumb. Because how many? The game's going to be a 2-point difference. I see Cincy winning by a touchdown.
Okay, yeah, that's a game. I think Joe Burrow is, like how you said, he slowed down. I think he's battling like a finger injury on his right hand. I might be wrong, but I think I've heard something about that.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard the Chargers did that to him.
And so that might be the reason. But Joe Mixon's been looking pretty good right now.
Is he healthy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was tearing it up this past week.
Yeah, he did have a good game.
All right, cool. For defense, though, like if I think I'd take Denver if I had to in this one. I don't think Their defense has played good. But again, they're an inconsistent team.
Yeah, they are. And I'm just hoping that this is going to be another game. And as a Charger fan, I can't, it would be nice to, because the Raiders have lately been pushed out of their hopes. And it would be nice if we could get the Donkeys in that same boat. All right, next game is Atlanta at San Francisco. San Francisco is a 9.5-point favorite. I am taking them. I am on the Niners ship. It is sailing. I don't think it's going to be close. I think San Francisco beats them by somewhere around 17. And that's that. Atlanta's not very resilient. Once they go down, they go down. And the Cordell Patterson's like your leading guy. It's like doesn't really impress me.
Yeah, he's a journeyman, been on.
Yeah, he's like
teams.
Yeah, and he doesn't even know what position he is. He runs like a linebacker. It's interesting. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying that I wouldn't put my marbles in somebody like that against a good team, and I consider San Francisco a good team.
Yeah.
Okay, Seattle at the Los Angeles Rams. This is a divisional game, Sunday afternoon. Rams are the 4.5-point favorite. I am taking the Rams. Your Los Angeles Rams. I am taking them. It's not my most confident game. It's not at all. But Seattle, I was expecting them to come back and be slinging and dinging and beating people up when Russell's injury was finally over with the finger. I thought he was going to be like, "Ooh, we're back." And there was no glitz or glam. It didn't feel like any big thing. He's way better than Geno, and they're not like horrifying to look at. But after how the Rams played last week, how they beat the Cardinals, a healthy Cardinals.
Yeah.
I do not see this being closer than a touchdown game.
Yeah,
I'm a Ram hater. I'm a Ram hater, just so you know.
My only concern was all the COVID reports coming out, and I don't know if more people are going to be testing positive as we get closer to the game. So that's just why I didn't want to touch that game.
You just need 2 negatives if you're vaccinated.
Yeah, I'm still just like Odell's out.
Is he ruled out? Or is he in COVID protocol situation?
It said earlier.
Because it's only Wednesday. I don't think they can make the team because I know that Keenan Allen wasn't ruled out officially until Saturday last week. And then Mike Williams came back from COVID before the game. And they both, those people all pissed hot on Tuesday last week. So I don't think there's a way to know yet unless they're unvaccinated.
Yeah. So for that reason, like maybe day of game, I'll take it. Like once I know, like right before who's in and who's out. But just for right now, I didn't want to risk it.
Fair. All right, the next game, the Green Bay Packers at the Ravens. We all took the Packers, including Jordan.
Yeah.
The Ravens they've hit the ground and they are not hitting it running. They're stuck. Yeah. They have no running back. That what's his face, Dobbs or whatever the hell his name is, really destroyed their season. Lamar Jackson doesn't look like he has much fight in him. They played okay like this last week, but still not good. And what's sad is that I was looking forward to watching Lamar Jackson choke in the playoffs again, and we're probably not even going to get to see that.
Yeah. I'm with you. And again, the Packers are just electric right now. Rodgers, just, like you said, I think they're a Super Bowl team, and the Ravens aren't it right now. And at 5 points, I do think they'll win by at least a touchdown. They should. There's no reason they shouldn't. They're fully healthy, and I'm pretty confident in that game.
Me too. Me too. Probably my most confident pick this week. I would say that, and I can speak for all of us maybe since we all coincided. The only game. All right, so nobody's doing the night game. That spread was too big for me. The New Orleans Saints at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay likes to beat people by the fucking skin of their teeth. They do win every game, but they barely do it. I don't know if they're preserving energy or what, or if Tom Brady just thinks it's funny to do 2-minute winning drives now. He has 600 of them. He's just like, let me do another one. This is, I'm bored. Let's let them get up by 4.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't take that. I don't like those big spreads, Tampa Bay games. The last one, Minnesota at Chicago. I'm the only one that took this. I'm taking Minnesota. It's -3.5. I wish it was 3. I might buy a half point. And I don't really have to say much. I already talked my shit on Chicago for the Packer game last week, and I was right. So if the Packers can crush Chicago like that, Minnesota can beat them by 3.5.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think the weather differences aren't there. Those places are pretty close to each other. Like, I mean, I know I'm from Cali and I live in Mexico, so I think everything else is close to each other. But the weather, that's for football wise, is not that much different.
No.
Granted, Minnesota has a dome, which doesn't really matter, but all right. So that's all we got for the picks. I'll put them up on the screen. I'm going to talk about basketball for a minute, not too much. NBA, they're scoring more points every week. So I've shifted from taking unders to taking overs. I still like single team overs, but I talked about the Magic a lot, never reaching that 100-point thing. They're getting it now. We learned earlier in this podcast that the NBA ball had changed. They had been trying out a new basketball. So I think maybe guys are getting used to it. Also, I know COVID season was 2 seasons ago now, but I think it still takes a minute to get back into the groove because that was weird. Remember that they had 3.5 weeks between the end of COVID season and the start of last season. So I think that this was their first full offseason in a long time, and it took a minute to get back into rhythm, but it worked in my favor because I was hitting every under, but I've started missing them and I've started shifting to overs. Last night I did well. I hit a parlay. The Warriors are so freaking hot, and they're not going to not be. Clay is about to come back. He's got one ass cheek off the bench right now. So when he comes back, it's going to be seamless. It's not going to be like, oh, let him adjust. It's just, we're talking about Klay Thompson. We're not talking about like your Alex Caruso. We're not talking about some, 7th best guy, 6th man of the year. We're talking about an all-star. We're talking about a consistent, one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. We're talking about the 2nd best player on the highest single season record team. This is no joke. So as soon as he comes back, put all your marbles in there. A team that's cooled off a little bit, Charlotte. Charlotte's cooled off. I'm not saying it's permanent, but I think that their schedule might have been misleading. And then, Melo Ball is being respected by defense now. So that's definitely different for him. The Lakers, let's talk about the Lakers. Anthony Davis drama. I don't think it's real, but usually these Lakers rumors are. He's upset with Frank Vogel, and I don't think that's going to play out very well because, of course, when you're on one of the most storied franchises of all time, they ship out the coach, not the star. And that's going to get really ugly. What the Lakers need to do is find somewhere for Russell Westbrook to go and maybe get a younger dude. I know we all said this before it happened, is that the age of that team is killing it. LeBron James looks like the youngest guy on the court, and he's the oldest guy on the court. Dude is good. I'm still taking the Lakers in short, small spreads against bad teams because they had a slow start. That's kind of the favorable as in apostador, as a gambler. So look at that. And basketball is all about trends. I think football is kind of any given Sunday, and we use that a lot.
Yeah.
But with basketball, there's much more trends. Like watch who comes back from injury. It's more important. There's only 5 guys on the field at a time, and everybody can score. So that's very important. Also, like, especially look at trends with scoring if you're going with your bets off that. One team that I would start to stay away from is the Portland Trailblazers. I think they're in the beginning of a demise. And that's just my opinion. There's a lot of rumors floating around about Damian Lillard finally going somewhere else. And I don't think it's true, but I think it's disturbing. Yeah. Houston Rockets don't suck as bad as they did in the beginning of the season. Pay attention to that. I'm not saying pick them on spreads, but if their under over single team points are low, I would take them on the over. They have a decent offense now. I know you're not a huge NBA follower. Is there any sports you want to touch on for gambling? Something you can expertise on? You know college football a little bit, don't you? Over though, right?
Some in college ball. We'll have more as we get closer to the bowl games. I don't really care about like that max stuff or any of that, but yeah, I guess we'll just wait till we get closer to bowl season. But yeah, I think that's about it.
All right, cool. Well, I think that's all I got. I will upload this podcast. It will be available on Thursday. I really appreciate you filling in, Alex. We'll have you back on the show. That was great. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Spread 'em with Caution. I'm out of here. Peace, man.
Thanks a lot.